Hello, tiny friends. Welcome back to Tiny Keyhole Minis. Today I'm in my hometown back in New York, and I found this amazing secondhand craft store. It's absolutely awesome, and I vowed to come to this store every time I come back home. So this is my second time, and we're going to check it out together.
It's gonna be $62.42, please.
Okay, tiny friends, not as big as the last haul. Last time I spent about $100, but I went ham on their selection of miniature supplies. It was just so big. So this time I did spend a little less, but I did find some great finds. I picked up a few sheets of wallpaper. The first sheet is actual wallpaper, and then these two sheets are kind of like scrap paper. I really liked how these ones reminded me of Whitney's Willy Wonka lickable wallpaper. So I definitely wanted to grab some of that. Here is that lovely little sewing machine that I picked up. It was only $4. I really, really loved it, and I loved it as a gift for a tiny friend. So this will be making its way to its new home. It has moving parts on it and metal pieces for the frame. And I just thought this was really nice. It's greatly detailed, perfect little piece for somebody to add more detail to or accessories. I am not sure if this is technically 1/12 scale or slightly smaller. I always feel like uh, it's 1/12 until I do a Chris and Bond kit, and then I actually see what a 1/12 really is. And most of the time, it's usually smaller than I'm thinking. But again, I build by the size of the Josephine house and whatever fits accordingly. These, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found these. These are plastic tubes. I guess they may be from like beads or something, but I have been looking for these types of tubes for a long time. They do have caps in them, and they also have metal caps on the bottoms. So I'm going to have fun creating jars and different types of lighting with these tubes. And there's about 20 tubes in the bag. And there's actually one that's slightly different. I did grab the box of flat toothpicks. I was happy to find these. And I recently saw a project made. Some of the parts were made with the flat toothpicks, but nonetheless, I know they will be very handy in some of my projects. Leather scraps. Holy moly. I love these and I love the smell. I could have got the whole box. I mean, you know, leather scraps. And these ones are pretty interesting with the patterns on them, but these pieces are pretty thin, and I thought the thinner the better. So I grabbed some of the thinner pieces, and I cannot wait to make some luggage with these, maybe some boots or gloves. But oh gosh, I love these two pieces because they have a really unique pattern on them. And they just came from a leather company. They were scraps. Some of these were like the sample palettes that you would look through to pick out your leather, kind of like the paint cards or carpet samples. And of course, fabrics. I cannot resist fabrics, but I do have such a large stash of fabrics that this time I only purchased two, and they're very inexpensive. 1.5 yards for $3.75. The smaller piece is a quarter yard for less than $1. Last time in the paints, I found brand new bottles of Waverly chalk paint, and they were extra large size. This time I found Testors Creative FX weathering paint, and I got 3 different colors. I'm curious to try this stuff out. I love Testors enamel paints. These ones have a metal ball inside to mix the paint well, and if it works, I will be happy because then I won't have to try and create my own rust color. So we'll see. I found a 4-pack of butter churns, and They look so tiny, but they do say 1 inch on them. I do have a butter churn, but it's a lot larger than that. Here's a pack of flat wooden rounds that I thought may be useful. Some of them have some writing on them, maybe from a past project. I always find that interesting. But holy moly, this was the find. A wooden cigar box. And I have yet to come across a wooden cigar box through all of my thrifting. So I was super happy to find this. I do have plans for this. And what makes this so special is that it's from the 40s and there are names and dates scratched into them. So we have Luella, uh, 1945. We have Wally. There's, I think Bill. Bill is on here. Yep, there's Bill. I don't know if these were kids, but 1945, January 24th, 1945. I also see Larry's name, and I love stuff like that. So I do plan on creating a miniature project in this wooden cigar box. And it was really awesome to find this. I would love to scan that Dutch Masters photo of all the OG Dutch Masters and actually create a wall painting with that. So I may possibly do that for this project. However, I paid $1.95 for it, so less than $2 for this 1940s wooden cigar box. I found a few interesting miniature pieces. I did find a little bird that I think is a little bigger than 112, but I'm sure would be perfect in somebody else's project. And then I found some antique medical supplies. Now, I love this bottle. I love the unique style of it with the top on it. And then these pill boxes. I'm thinking these are from the 50s, 40s because of what they say. And we have some tranquilizers, some pep pills, and pink pills. And I know back in the 40s and 50s, they would give the mother of the house or the housewife these types of pills to keep them going all day long, which was horrible, but they needed to get their jobs done, and it was very tiring. I mean, it's hard work and a full time job keeping up with the house and kids. I feel like, it should be a paid job. And let's just think about this for a second. They handed these things out to the women like candies who are growing the next generation. So the 60s, they're quite wild and pretty free with that type of thing. It was okay back then and very common in the 40s and 50s. And apparently, it was okay for the young daughter to have these in their dollhouse as well. But these days, we know through higher education and maybe some experience that these types of things are not okay. I also found these little wooden button caps that I thought would make great lids for jars. They look like little mushrooms and a little bat. And then going into my favorite section of metal tidbits and jewelry parts, I found a lot of good stuff. That's a pack of silver rice pearls, glass tube beads, and I also found some metal decorative beads in different sizes, different designs, different styles and shapes. A bag of decorative bead spacers. I love these things. Some clasps and clips or bras or shirts. These ones are actually vintage, but I love them. I love using these for hooks and different things. 25 cents a pack. I found these hat pins. I think they're hat pins, and you can put like a decorative embellishment on it. But to me, they look like maybe strainers, spoons, um, different things that I'm definitely going to use them for. And I was happy to find these because I've never seen these before with the holes in them. But I have a nice variety of these. I'm thinking colanders and strainers, definitely. Some sort of utensil. I found a bag of these caps that I thought would make great bases to maybe the ashtray stands or some sort of lamp. These, oh my goodness, vintage ashtrays all day long. And I can pair these up with those last pieces and create my ashtray stands. I said if I came across these earring backs for non-pierced ears, I would grab some more. And this time I found some unique ones. So I definitely grabbed those. I used these to create the antique gaslight fixtures in the Josephine house. Some metal buttons. They were very organized with their buttons this time. They have put the button on top of a tube, and then whatever button that is what's in the tube, however many they had of that type of button. So it was very neat, but they had a huge selection of buttons, and it was very overwhelming. I love buttons. I have begun my stash of metal antique buttons, and it was just too overwhelming to go through all those buttons. This is a bag of different bead pieces from a necklace or a bracelet, but it's super sticky, so I'm going to have to clean that up really good before I can use it. And then I found a couple more pieces of, oh, these are cufflinks. Uh, and I thought these were really cool because I can take them apart and use the round pieces for frames or mirrors. And then the band is kind of like a watch band. They come with a glass dome for the top part. These pieces were interesting. I thought they were little single cap pieces, but they're actually one whole piece, decorative metal filigree pieces. So I can either cut them down or use them as is. But I love this find. They're little metal leaves, and you can bend them easily. So I'm excited to use these for my tulip lamps. Yay! Super cool find. A few more metal decorative pieces. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Some jump rings and different pins. Last is a couple bags of variety bits, some metal brads, little jewelry clasp earring backs, some unique pieces, some bead caps. Here's another bag, just a variety. These ones are really cool because they have like dome tops to them. Different metal tidbits and bead parts. The last couple packs are just like rhinestone embellishments. Okay, tiny friends, that completes today's craft haul from my hometown at Craft Bits and Pieces second-hand craft store. I hope you all have enjoyed this video today, and if you have, please click that like button and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about some of these pieces in the comments below. If you're new today and just joining me for the first time, or maybe just passing on through, and you would like to see my miniature creations, please subscribe. It's completely free. And don't forget to hit that top bell notification button to be notified every time I upload a new project. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for your support. Until next time, tiny friends, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all on the mini side. Bye-bye.